Hello, and welcome to a solo episode of Mark My Words. I am Mark Schmidt. Today, I want to talk a little bit about something I'm going to be doing this summer that I'm very, very excited about. And before I actually talk about what it is, I'm going to preface it with what will hopefully be a brief story. So, when I was in high school, I sat around in study hall and dreamed about what my life was going to be like after high school, what kind of things I wanted to do, what I wanted to accomplish. And one of those things that could just never escape me, I could never shake the idea of putting myself out there in some way, shape, or form in order to talk about what it's like to be Mark Schmidt. And I know that while I'm not alone in being born with a cleft lip and palate and some of the other obstacles I've had in my life, I don't know if I've ever met anybody who has had the kind of challenges I've had. I know I had one person on this show who I could at least talk to about having a cleft lip and palate, but I feel like I've had a very unique life overall, and I've always felt very compelled to tell that story. And one of the reasons I majored in television production was to maybe give myself a platform and an opportunity eventually to tell that story. And I always thought that that would come through, I don't know, like a film or a movie, or maybe I somehow would write my own TV show. I don't know. These are very lofty goals and examples of things I used to think about when I was in high school and even in college. And there's been a lot of ups and downs and obstacles and challenges along the way. And I know there were certainly points in my life where I started to doubt whether I would ever accomplish my goal of putting myself out there in the way that I wanted to. And I just felt it was important to talk about things that I was struggling with, not only as a person, but just internally, just as far as socializing, as far as fitting in, as far as just how I felt I was being perceived as a person. Especially when you look at me, it's like, I know that depending on the day, my voice sounds different. Like you can tell that I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and not to overanalyze all of this too much, but I just always felt like I was leading a life that was a little bit different, and just always felt like I could not break through and be understood in the way that I wanted to. And long story short, up until I created this podcast, I didn't know, and certainly as an adult and as I've gotten older, I started to doubt whether I would ever have any kind of platform to really tell that story. But as I've been doing Mark My Words and have been opening up more and more, I'm realizing that I'm breaking through not only in the episodes, but outside of doing these episodes and even outside of being a guest on shows. Although I will say I've also opened up a lot more as a podcast guest as well. But the fact that this summer, this July, I'm going to be a speaker at a virtual event. I've never been a speaker at any kind of a public event before, so I'm very, very excited and filled with a lot of a sense of accomplishment. It really fulfills me to know that I'm finally going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for at least 32, 33 ish years. It's been a long time. It's been a lot of dreaming, it's been a lot of hard work, it's been a lot of ups and downs and challenges, but I'm very excited to be speaking because I'm going to be speaking about imposter syndrome as a podcast guest, which is a great opportunity in general for me to talk about imposter syndrome and to hopefully inspire others, whether you're a guest, a host, or just somebody who's uh, trying to become an entrepreneur or just trying to achieve any goal you have in life. It doesn't even matter if you're a podcast host or guest or whatever the case is. I just want to reach people and inspire and hopefully get people to think a little bit differently, because if I'm doing all of this stuff that is intimidating for people who don't have the obstacles that I've had, then I know for a fact that we all can not only do this kind of work where we're speaking and communicating in the way that I have been and in the way I'm hoping to do moving forward, we can do whatever we want to do in this life. And it's all on us, it's all on our shoulders to decide and to pick ourselves up and be willing to dust ourselves off when we make mistakes and show ourselves grace and give ourselves an opportunity to grow. Because believe me, when I first started making content, I did not speak as well as I do now. It was intimidating, it was weird, it was different, but it was something I personally felt I needed to do and wanted to do. And I'm so thankful to all the people who have ever supported me and really gave me the right nudge to be uh, going after the dreams that have always been in my heart and in my mind. And I don't think I would be here today without them. And I really just wanted to make this episode to talk a little bit about the fact that whether it's a new dream or it's a dream you've had for 10, 20, 30 years, if it's in your heart and you really believe in it and you really want to do it, just keep working at it, keep trying to do all the right things, keep networking, keep working, keep growing, dust yourself off and try again when things don't work out. Don't get too down on yourself. Don't let the voices in your head get to you and keep you from doing the things that you want to do. Don't be your own worst enemy. And you can do this. You got this. And I know that if I got this, and I'm going to be speaking this summer and hopefully kicking off what I hope to be more and more appearances like this one. Yeah, I just really wanted to put this out there as a reminder that you got this and you have the ability to do what you want to do. And I hope that my story is something that can inspire you, whether this is the only episode of Mark My Words you ever listen to, or you listen to every single one, or whatever the case is. I just want to reach people and I want them to feel good about themselves and not go through all the things that I have either gone through or put myself through over the course of my life. So I'm just here to say I'm very proud of myself for accomplishing this. This is a long time coming. This is a big accomplishment. And I'm just here to say don't let imposter syndrome get the best of you. Don't let limiting beliefs of any kind keep you from accomplishing whatever dream you have. And when it comes down to it, frankly, if you're talking about speaking and hearing your voice, I've come to learn that everybody thinks their voice sounds a little weird. So it's just a matter of practicing and getting better at your craft if you want to be a speaker, and listen to feedback, listen to your own feedback, make adjustments, and most importantly, just have fun. Because I know I'm having a blast with everything I'm doing between this show and all the things I've gotten into on TikTok this year that require me to speak and put myself out there. Learn from your mistakes, grow, but have fun too. And that is really all I have to say on this topic. Thanks again for listening to this solo episode of Mark My Words. I'm Mark Schmidt, and I will talk to you soon.